What is up, guys? Rick Hackus here, and today we are talking about the Fr0st-EE5, otherwise known as the Frosties. These are exotic hunter boots that are kind of in Destiny. Now, the reason I say kind of is because these are an example of a hidden exotic, an exotic that we know about but currently isn't available in the loot table. Now, why are we talking about an exotic that you can't even get in Destiny right now? Well, simply put, there's a pretty high chance with the upcoming Rise of Iron expansion that some of these hidden exotics will be finally added into the game, and even if they're not added with the Rise of Iron, they may still be added sometime in Destiny's lifespan. That's actually exactly what happened with the Titan exotic chess piece, the Twilight Garrison. It was a hidden exotic for quite a while until a random update just added it into the loot table. So talking about the Frosties today could very well be basically taking a first look on a new exotic that will be hitting Destiny soon. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, the in-game description for the Frosties is, "Hey, if it works for computers," and that's a quote by Marcus Wren. Moving on, the big part of any exotic is its exotic perk, and the exotic perk for the Frosties is called Rapid Cooldown. Tighter turn radius while sprinting, increased grenade and melee regeneration while sprinting. Now let's break that perk down. The first part of it, tighter turn radius while sprinting, well, that's just going to be a general bonus, and it's going to increase the mobility of an already very mobile class, the Hunters. And the second part is really where we get the engines turning here, because this is where this exotic, if added, could be one of the best exotics in the game, frankly, or a completely underused exotic. The increased grenade and melee regeneration while sprinting, because it really just depends on the degree of regeneration. If you actually get a substantial bonus, these are going to be insane. Because any hunter using an aggressive class who is planning on sprinting, I mean, for goodness sakes, you are sprinting 99% of the time when you're in PvP. Do you ever just walk places? Almost never. So being able to do something you are already going to do, you don't have to change your gameplay style literally at all, and then getting a substantial bonus, being able to have more grenades and more melee charges, that's huge. That is a huge bonus for, again, something that you were already going to do. It's basically giving you a bonus without asking you to do anything special. Now, of course, if the degree of regeneration isn't very much and you can run end to end on a PvP map and you won't really see much regeneration, these are going to be confined as another useless exotic. We'll really have to see, if these are ever added, the degree of regeneration that's really going to determine how good these things are. But again, if that regeneration is anything significant, I can see these being used quite a bit in PvP. As for PvE, I do see definitely a bonus as well. I mean, if you think of yourself in a strike, in a raid, no matter what you're doing, again, you're almost always sprinting, and being able to regenerate your grenade and your melee while doing that is pretty damn good. However, in a PvE scenario, you're using your super a lot more often, you know, you're damaging bosses and the like with that, and, you know, having an extra grenade and melee isn't that insane in PvE. Like, for example, a melee charge. Very, very useful in a PvP scenario. Not exactly as useful in PvE because there's so many more enemies, and when you're dealing with a boss, with a Vex Minotaur or something like that, a melee charge against them won't really do anything. Exotic leg armor is really something I'd like to see expanded on in Destiny's future. I mean, for goodness sakes, the Warlock class doesn't even have exotic leg armor, and the exotic boots that do exist in the game are often pretty crappy. I mean, if you take a look at both the exotic boots, the Paragon Greaves and the NK-44 stand-asides for the Titan, neither see almost any play. So actually adding in something like the Frosties, where you have a potentially pretty damn good bonus, that's something, again, I'd love to see introduced in Destiny's future. Now, aside from the exotic perk, the other perks on the Frosties are pretty much what you can expect from any piece of leg armor. You have a couple of different ammo bonuses, and then you have the Arc Double Down, Solar Double Down, and Void Double Down perks, which randomly spawn, basically giving you increased agility for 5 seconds after a double kill of that certain element. So again, very similar to what we find in other leg armors. So that's going to wrap up this episode of Hidden Exotics. I hope you guys enjoyed. Now if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you want to see more Destiny content in the future, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. Now if you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That's linked in the description down below, as is my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day. One of the things I love to do when we get one of these streams, a gameplay reveal or something of the like, is I love to comb over the footage and analyze the new weapons and armor being added with this new content. And that's because I love the weapons and armor in Destiny. I'm a huge collector and it really interests me. So I'm bringing that to you guys today. I've combed over the footage and we're going to analyze some of the new armor sets, some of the new weapons, and even some new exotics being added with the rise of iron.